And welcome back to Varsity Sports Now's high school basketball preview. Jay Elson, Jason, and Aaron moving into South Dakota Class A boys now. And Madison took home their third Class A championship in 5 years last season. And the Bulldogs are going to have something to say about that once again.
Yeah, a lot of talent back for Madison this year. One of their best scorers, Trey Vanderberg's back. Preston Nordling, Jacob Giles, a lot of guys back. And head coach Michael Rickey likes what he sees.
It's a big advantage to have those kids all out there with you off the court. They set a good example for everybody, both in the classroom and out in the community. And you know, they're just a great group of kids, and it's going to be a huge advantage for us to have those kids with us this year.
Coming out state champions, obviously we have expectations, and the excitement level is great. I mean, we're all here and we're all just having fun.
All right, Jason, as we take a look at your preseason power rankings in Class A, the Bulldogs, no surprise, on top. How about the rest of the top five?
Well, Madison was an easy pick. They got a lot of shooters back, but the rest of the group, a lot of teams, again, in this mix. Beginning of the season, always so hard to pick, but you got to look to St. Thomas more, a team that returns Henderson and Connor Merriam, two guys that will really carry this program this year. They always play such a tough schedule, and that helps them down the stretch. I expect them to be at the top toward the end of the year. And then you look at a team like Sioux Valley. They were on the cusp last year, had a really good team, but didn't quite close games out the way that we knew they could. They've got Tate Vincent. He's just a freshman back this year. He's a big-time scorer. Wouldn't surprise me if he scores more points than anybody else in the rest of the state this year. So it's nice having the coach's son be a freshman and be the leading scorer, one of the leading scorers in the class. Very good team. And then Pine Ridge has one of their best players back in Jeff LeBeau. And then you got to look at Rabbiting Roncalli. Maybe not as strong as they were last year, but this team made it to the semifinals 2 years ago, and they played a lot of sophomores that are seniors now, so a lot of experience on this Roncalli team. Their question is, underneath, did they have enough post play last year? They had some height, but didn't have great post play. This year, I think they've got a little better post play, and their guards are outstanding. So watch out for Roncalli, a team, again, that plays a tough schedule that could get better and better throughout the year.
Are there any teams outside of that top five that you think could contend here?
There are a lot of teams outside the top five that we could see in our rankings throughout the year. You got to look at a team like Canton, a lot of great athletes. Cody Willett, their top scorer, a big guy underneath. Dakota Valley has one of the best shooters in the state, and Brody Van Ginkel. And Cheyenne Eagle Butte, this is a team that has a lot of great athletes too. They don't play quite the same schedule some of these other teams do in the state, but I expect them to be there at the end with a guy like Xavier North. And then Sisseton, they only lost by 2 points in the playoffs to a Roncalli team. People don't talk about Sisseton a lot, but they've got 4 starters back off that team, and that could be a team in the top 5 making regular appearances as the season goes on.
A year in and year out, it seems like Class A, top to bottom, might be the strongest as far as from a parity standpoint anyway. It appears, by the way you're talking, that could be the case again once a year.
It's one of the most fun classes to cover because of that parity, and they play each other a lot throughout the beginning part of the season and a lot of the classics. You'll see them at the Hanson Classic in January. You see them play in Parkston earlier in the year. There's a lot of great teams, and we'll find out early. But just because they win a game early doesn't mean that's what's going to happen in March. By the end of the year, I expect the seasoned veteran teams like the Madisons, maybe a St. Thomas More, Roncalli, those type of teams to rise to the top. And you could see a sleeper. I really like what Sioux Valley has done. They're a little younger than the other teams, but I really like the team that they bring back.
Well, and you mentioned the rematches. These teams might face each other early. One team might. Well, look at football. I mean, a lot of the teams that won the regular season didn't win when it came time to play in the Dakota Dome. All right. Well, one more class to go in our look at South Dakota boys basketball. We'll talk Class B boys when we come back. Then it's on to North Dakota and Class B girls. You're watching Varsity Sports Now.
Varsity Sports Now, presented by Shield.